Hello, hello. Got my paddles. Everybody better behave tonight. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Ellie better behave tonight. She's kind of boisterous today. How is everybody? Can you hear me? Want to make sure our sound is good. Burf, she's checking too. She wants to know if you're here. Okay, so everybody can hear me. Can you hear me now? So last week we mixed paints, and after the live I did this painting. A lot of people were curious what the blue interference was going to do, and you can see it here, but I'm also going to tilt so you can see it. Good evening, Linda. So you can see how it is super shiny, along with that Pebeo green blue, and of course the 24K gold. But I'm very happy how that dried. A lot more cells than when it was finished on the video. Hi, Kathy. You're okay. We're just starting. And then I did the 4 tiles, and those really selled out while they were drying. So those came out pretty well, too. She's going to be a stinker, isn't she? So I'm going to move this stuff out of the way. And I might have to paint you. Ellen's here for a question, so I don't miss anything. Say hello, Ellen.
Hello, Alan. I'm in the background.
Still isn't shaved either, just letting you know. So tonight we're going to do base paints. And when I say base paints, it's what we pour on the canvas before we do a ring pour or a bottle bottom. Anything that you need your paint to flow with. I don't consider it an extender, although when you water down your paint to put it around the edges, that's pretty much what the base paint happens to be. We're also going to mix the 12 shades of gray, green gray, tonight because I'm going to do a Dutch pour after the live. So you'll see that video Saturday. And I'm going to be including a few other colors, so maybe we can mix those tonight on camera if we have time. So let's get started. Everybody got your notebooks? If you need to take notes, we'll be good. I'm not going to use a scale tonight because I kind of know where my lines are on my jugs. And we're going to be mixing up a jug of each color. So what I'm doing is black and white. And then for the Dutch pour, we'll do some paint on that too. Get my gloves on so I don't get paint all over me because I just showered. It's a given, right?
You got an apron on.
And I have a brand new apron on. It's probably going to be a mess. I threw out all my old aprons. They were pretty bad. They were pretty stiff. Okay. So let's start with titanium white. These are all new jugs. Ellen brought me all brand new ones. So I have to take the seals off. This is Creative Inspirations from Jerry's Artorama. This is what I always use for my white and black bases. Also, I use the Payne's Gray as well. It's a good paint. Does not crack. At least I haven't had any cracking from it. And if you guys are looking to get GAC 800, I mentioned it Monday night. Jerry's has the gallons back in stock, and so does Amazon. So I put all the links below in the description for products that I'm using tonight. Some are in the Amazon shop, some are on Jerry's. I'm super tired tonight because of that. We have a smoke detector right outside of our bedroom window. And at 4 o'clock this morning, it decided to, the battery died. So we listened to it beep for a few hours. can't sleep when it does that. So I start with about 1 cup of paint. White and black are super thick, so 1 cup is plenty in the jug. From the jug, I mean.
Victoria has showed up.
She's here. I already shook my Floetrol. I am going to put my screen on it. So I did see Doris's painting with the black background. It may have cracked because it was sliding as it was drying, but she's going to try a different base coat and see if that helps too. All right.
Victoria is always in detention. Nothing new.
Okay, so to this, I'm going to add about 1 cup of Floetrol. You don't want to add too much because then you're dealing with clumps. And like I said last week, you just want to get it smooth enough to keep adding more. So it takes a while to break that paint down. So just keep stirring.
Sounds like galloping horses.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I have it thinned down a little bit, and now I'm going to add another cup. You want to leave room for your water. This is probably the only time I use water with acrylic pouring is this in Dutch pours. My wrist is going to be sore tonight. She left, didn't she?
Cool.
Ellie.
Yeah, I gave her a chewy.
Oh, that's why she left. She's hiding it somewhere. All right, so we're still really thick. So now we're going to add water. So I start with about 1/3 of a cup.
Captain Carr has a question. What is a limit amount of water to add?
I wouldn't go past 2/3 cup. If it's still too thick, add more Floetrol.
And Monica Strickland wants to know, do you mix all your white with this recipe?
Not my pouring white, no. My pouring white would have the glue and no water. This is just the base coat paint. So we're still pretty thick. At this point, I'm kind of close to what I'd use for pouring, but not quite there yet. So add some more water. I should have used a measuring cup to tell you exactly how much I use, but not everybody uses this paint anyway. And Floetrol varies on thickness. Sometimes you get a really thick one, and sometimes you get one that's a little thinner. So
Sometimes you get a smelly one.
yeah, those I don't even use anymore. They're still usable, but I don't use them.
Doris says, happy Thursday to everybody, and thanks, Christina, for this education. It helps so very much.
So to me, this is too thin for pouring. She's choking, Ellen. Check her. So I'm going to add more water. Alan will be very happy because he was out of white base paint for 2 weeks now. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, that's good. All right, so here we go. when I leave a trail, a C, it fades immediately. You don't want it so thin that it falls into itself. You want it to just like touch the paint. You can see it touch, but then when you do this C, it does go down. So that was about 2/3 cup of water completely from my measurement on the jug. I still have room for more water. Now, if you let this sit for a week and it thickens up on you, just add a little more water or Floetrol, either one. Yep, that's good. So I'm going to leave this out, though, because I'm going to show you guys kind of a drip test between this and the Dutch pouring. Can you move that? My hands have on them. Just take the whole thing. Okay. I don't care where you put it. All right, let's move this one aside. I'm going to go ahead and cover it a little bit so it doesn't dry out. Now, black plays different. Sometimes black is thicker than the white. So we'll see how this one mixes up.
Kathy Carr says GAC 800 in this.
Sometimes I put it in, but I definitely put it in the Dutch pour paint. You can add it. I probably should give it a squirt, but I'm going to check the consistencies first before I add anything else to it.
Doris wants to know, does that Floetrol smell go away when it dries, or does it mean there are microorganisms growing in it and it needs to be thrown out or returned?
I would return it. Very plain and simple. I had used it in a jug of paint, and it did grow mold, which I've never had happen before, so I just chucked all mine. And I called Floetrol Flood and told them, I bought 6 jugs, and I sent them a copy of my receipt, and they sent me a refund. So they will fix it for you. Plus, they know I have a YouTube channel, so they're probably scared. So we'll give this one a shot of Floetrol. So with the black, you can notice it's much thicker than the white when you add the Floetrol. And that it's not because of anything to do with the mica, it's because white has more mica than black. So the white, in actuality, white should be heavier because it sinks better than the black, but the black is the second heaviest. So this is 1 to 2, 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol. I'm going to add just a little bit more Floetrol, and I'll show you where we're at there. Because that's normal pouring consistency. Most people say 1 to 2, 1 part paint, 2 parts Floetrol. Every paint is different. You cannot take that as a standard. Some paints are thinner, some paints break down easier. So don't ever judge it by that. Judge it by how I taught it last week, the feel of the paint and the drip test. So we're still pretty thick. I wish I could get that on camera better for you, but we are still really thick. So I'm going to go ahead and add some water. Now, when you're mixing black, if you want to add a gunmetal metallic to it, and if you're doing this size jug, you would use a whole bottle of the gunmetal. So let's say, is it 2 ounces, I believe? Just dump that in before you add your Floetrol. Same with the Payne's gray. You can add silver, you can add gunmetal, you can add bronze, you can add gold, anything to sparkle it up. We're still pretty thick. Keep going with the water. I know the black takes a little more water. That's why I'm leaving some room there. Is Brian misbehaving? Do I need to put him in the corner?
Yeah, he said he hasn't hit his thumbs up yet because he's not sure he likes it.
Oh, Brian. Dude. What are we going to do with you? All right, so we're getting close. I can already tell I need more water because I'm getting a mound on a mound, and I don't want that. Don't worry, if you put too much water in, you can always add a little more paint. So I did add a few more things to the Amazon shop today too. The little pink Berta dryer is out of stock, so I added a black one that is going to take its place. It's the same hair dryer, it's just black. Just a smidge more. And we should be there. Yep. As long as I don't see a mound, I know I'm good. Now, this is really close to Dutch pour consistency, but I do not use Floetrol for a Dutch pour. I only use paint, water, and Liquitex pouring medium. I don't want any cells on my edges unless I'm putting them there. I don't like a lot of cells in a Dutch pour. I don't want to see the colors. I don't mind them from some gold, you know, where it makes its little trail of cells. I don't mind that, but I just don't want the edges to all sell out. So we are right there, guys. And let me bring you down. Let me see if I can get you at an angle here. It's so hard to see black. But I'm not getting the trail stain. It goes away immediately. I could have picked a different color. Huh? All right, so that's the black one. So now, because I've had so many requests for Dutch pour help, I've decided to mix Dutch pour paints today. Let's get you right about here. Sorry for the free rides, but they are free. All right, so I am going to add the Creative Inspirations Pearlescence because I like my Dutch pour bases to be shiny. So I'm adding 2 tubes. I'm going to see, I might want 3 to make sure I have enough base. And this is another one. Your paint consistencies are all different. Whatever colors you're picking. That's why I like to stick to one brand of paint. They usually run the same. And I've been using this Creative Inspirations, gosh, 4 years, babe? About 4 years. Yeah. And boy, it's gone up in price in those 4 years.
Joanne Lawson wants to know, where do you get Creative Inspiration?
For Jerry's Artorama. They haven't had it on sale in a long time. It's been like 5 months. But if you can hit a sale, I don't know if they'll ever do it again because of the shipping from China. You can get it for $12.99 a jug. But like I said, they haven't done it in months. And even at the show, the cheapest I got it was $14.99 a jug. And I thought that was a good deal because it hadn't been on sale. It's a good deal because you're getting 60 ounces of paint in that jug. That's a lot of paint.
Linda Sirianni wants to know, and that is what paint?
Creative Inspirations. Here, I'll turn it this way. And the link for those are below in the description.
One starts with that looks like poop. Not quite.
Somewhat rude. Okay. I'm going to add one more.
Maria just posted the link for Jerry's.
Okay. So I want to make sure I have plenty of this for my canvas. All right. So now, since I added those 3 tubes, those were 75 mil each. Well, it's right here in front of me. I'm going to give this a good dose of pearlescence. So I'm about 2/3 of the amount of that tube paint. I'm going to mix those two together first to see if I have enough in there. So when I'm mixing these paints, I like a good paint stick because I will break the sticks because I'm pretty rough. I think I'm going to add a little more pearl to it. It's not quite as shiny as I'd like it.
Good night, Lisa.
She has more problems with her phone. All right.
You want to know what color is that?
This is the green gray from 12 Shades of Gray. Do you remember the purple blowout I did? I actually did 2 of them. One was for the Great Switcheroo, and then the other one was for my bedroom. That was the violet gray mixed with the pearlescence on those ones. Okay, so before I add water, I'm going to add Liquitex pouring medium. And my rule of thumb is 1 ounce per cup. So I'm a little over a cup, so I'm going to give it 2 squirts. That's about 1.5 ounces. And then I'm going to add a little bit of GAC 800 as well, because we're really going to water this down because we are super thick. Okay. And 1 ounce of GAC 800, which to me, in the squirt bottles, if you squirt it once, that's 1 ounce. Full squirt. And I only know that because I mix paint. I I sell mixed paint, so I know how much a squirt is. That's all we're adding to this paint besides water. So the GAC 800 is there to prevent cracking and crazing. The Liquitex pouring medium is there as an added binder because now we're going to add a bunch of water and we don't want to break that binder down too much. I try not to go over 40% as opposed to the amount of paint. So let's say you're using an ounce of paint. You definitely don't want to use 8 ounces of water. You try to keep it at 7. Sometimes you can't help it. You have to add it. But if you're adding a ton of water, just keep adding a little squirt of Liquitex pouring medium to preserve that binder. That shine is really pretty on that. What's Brian doing that Maria's trying to get him in more trouble?
Oh, Maria's going to go put her jammies in and take her bra. Hello, Gretchen. Glad you could join us.
Yeah, it's a bummer we're only mixing paint tonight. Okay. Still super thick. You can see it. So we're going to keep adding water. I do use distilled water, or purified water, I'm sorry. I think that's the same as distilled, isn't it? This has minerals in it, though.
Hello, Sarah. Glad you could join us.
Which I shouldn't be using, by the way.
Hello, Lori.
Okay, we're getting there.
Diana wants to know, is the water room temperature or cold, or does it matter?
I don't think it really matters. Mine's room temperature.
Gretchen says, if I watch paint mixing enough, I might get it right someday.
All right, let's see where we're at now. Nope, we're still too thick. Still getting a mound.
Hello, Deirdre. Glad you could join us.
I'm glad I have this much paint, though. I was worried I wasn't going to have enough for that canvas. So now when you're mixing the colors for a Dutch pour, it's a little bit different. This is the base. I try not to add too much Liquitex pouring medium to the base as opposed to the colors. The colors only get a ½ ounce of Liquitex pouring medium. So that's what I want. I want it to go right into the container without leaving a mound. A little bit more. I don't want to break that barrier, though. So there's absolutely no Floetrol in here. It's just paint, water, GAC 800, and Liquitex pouring medium. You guys know I don't do a lot of Dutch pours, and this is one of the reasons, because it takes so long to mix the paint up to do. Because I always have the other paint mixed. When I do a Dutch pour, I mix it up like a few hours before I do the painting, so it has time to settle, but this isn't real bubbly, so we should be okay. There we go. Let me bring you down, see if you can see it better from a side-ish angle. Bring it back a little bit. See how it goes down in? But it's not dripping.
Porn star wants to know, does it have to be Liquitex pouring medium?
See the bounce on the stick? The slight stretch, that's what you're looking for. Any kind of pouring medium would work. I just like the Liquitex the best.
Mom wants you to mix that color for her living room walls.
I know. Our bedroom walls used to be this color. See, green. It does look like it, doesn't it? What we used to have. This will dry darker, though, than what it is right now. All right, so let me wipe my stick, and then I'm going to show you the drip tests on those. A lot of times I see people do a Dutch pour, and they're like, my paint wouldn't move. You're not thin enough. I can't describe it to them. I have to show it.
Good night, Julie. She's got to run.
Bye, Julie. The dirty little board. Okay, let me slap my paper on there. So last week, when we did our drip test, we did the 3/4 count to get it to here. So let's see if we can get it to here on the 3/4 count. I'm going to bring you guys up. Just giving you all kinds of rides today, aren't I? Okay, let me grab these two.
Hello, Rebecca Welch from New Hampshire. Glad you could join us.
Welcome. Making sure these didn't thicken up on me. Okay, the white might have just a smidge. Okay, so let's do the black. It's going to roll down. The white. Try to keep your puddles all the same size, because otherwise it won't count. And the Dutch pour. Okay. The tip. The Dutch pour still could use just a smidge thinner. But it is running faster than the other. That's what you want. You want the Dutch pour paint to still run thinner than your base paint. And let me do one. I'll show you one more test. Hi, girly. What are you doing? So I'm going to add a pouring paint in this mix so you can see the difference. It will help you if you're going to do a drip test. Let me add a smidge more water to my Dutch. I still wanted it thinner. Oh my goodness.
What's the matter?
Are you mad? Okay, that should be good. Let's see where we're at. Okay, let me grab a paint. Okay. Black. White. Dutch. And a pouring paint. My pouring paint's running fast for some reason. But my Dutch is right where I want it now. And of course, this is black and white. I could still add a little more water to that because it thickens as it sits. But we want it to be shorter than this red, so I will add more water to those before I cap them off.
So Shannon has a question. She says it might be a silly question, but does it matter if you use tap water or should you use bottled water?
Well, you can use tap water. Just boil it first and let it cool down. You just want to burn off the bacteria. That's all.
It depends what region of the country you're in too, because tap water has different minerals.
Right.
That's one thing about North Carolina and the tap water here. We're known as the kidney stone capital of the U.S.
And you know that. He knows that for a fact. You can definitely taste the minerals in our water here. I don't drink tap water at all. We have a water cooler. All right, so now I can cap these off. Now that I've added a little more water to them. Yeah, you can see they were getting thick on top. Oops. Messy. Sloppy. Any questions thus far? Hi, Ellen. Don't be afraid to ask a question. I will do my best to give you an answer. Set that stick there. All right, now we'll put the Floetrol away because we're done with that. And I put that away. And throw that away. Ellie, want to? No, I better not.
Nope.
I'm gonna give her a water bottle, but I thought no.
She's trying to look for a place to hide it.
Oh, she's looking for a hiding place. Okay, so let's mix up our colors to go with that green. So I chose Dark Forest from Art Alchemy. I chose a Naples Yellow. I chose a Prussian Blue from Grumbacher. I'm going to use Golden's Iridescent Gold Deep Fine. And I'm going to use another one of those Deco Art media interference colors, and this is the green. So I'm definitely going to need the gloss gel for this and this. But because I'm only doing one canvas, I don't need a lot of paint. If you want to make this in a bottle, if you're going to be doing a lot of Dutch pours, you can just double, triple, quadruple, whatever. But I'm going to show you how I do this. This, I may need my scale.
I'm fine, Joanne.
Have you seen my scale?
This one?
No, the silver top. One I used last week. I took care of it and I don't know where I put it. Is it in the drawer? Down, down, down.
This drawer?
Keep going. I may have put it in a drawer. Down, down, down. Oh, I forgot all that stuff was there. I'm sorry. I do have a little silver scale somewhere here.
Where's Mary Ellen when you need her?
I don't need Mary Ellen. I've got things labeled almost done. It's probably down here. No. I know I have one in my mixing room. I don't want to use that one because that's my shipping scale. All right, I'll eyeball it.
I found it.
Oh, he found it? Okay. It's really warm in here tonight. These lights are hot. Thank you, boss. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a 1/2 ounce of color. No, I'm sorry, 1 ounce of color and a 1/2 ounce of Liquitex pouring medium. And then I'll add water to thin. This is one of my favorite colors from Art Alchemy. This one looks very thick for some reason.
Maria says they've had a request to see Ellie.
You want to see Ellie?
Maybe before we sign off.
Go over there and I'll flip you. Or bring her over here. It's even easier. Come here, Elle. If she's got her bony, she's not coming. She's looking for a place to hide it. Ellie, come here. See Mama.
The game.
Yeah, she's playing chase now. We'll get her before we're done. All right, so I'm going to do 1 ounce of color. This is very thick. Normally, it's not this thick. So this is going to be fun to try to break down. So there's only 1.7 ounces in this jar. So I may go right, maybe an 8. There's an ounce. Okay, we're good. You got her? You got her? You got her? All right, Ellie, come here. There's Ellie Belly Boo Bear. Look, Ellie. Look up here. Look. She's the brat. Okay, you got your glimpse. She's the little terror. But I love her. Okay. So now I'm going to add 0.5 of Liquitex pouring medium. Oh no, we're not going to get up here again.
She is a diva.
Yes, and she's always wearing something lately.
Because Mom treats her like a diva.
I do treat her like a diva. She's my baby girl. I haven't had a girl dog since my 40-year-old son was little. So I can spoil her. All right, so I have my Liquitex pouring medium in there. Now I can start adding water. You will not measure water. You can start with 0.5. But every paint is different, so don't start with too much. I'm going to put this one aside and let it sit because it had the little clumps in it, and we'll see how it looks and they're sticking to my stick. So I'm going to let those dissolve a little bit. We're going to go to the next color. All right. Artist Loft. This is a thicker paint. I'm not going to use a lot in that pour. So I may just go, let's do an ounce. What the heck?
Right, so these are the colors for Dutch pour?
Yes. On that green background. Okay. 0.5.
Oh. Yeah.
She's telling you.
Show me.
She's showing you something. Oh, she's pretty funny. If she loses something now, she comes and gets us like, hey, come here, find this for me. All right, 0.5. Should have done it just a little bit less, just to work it in. Hi, Christy. I'm sorry I haven't said hello to everybody. I'm just kind of like got my head in the game here. So as I start breaking these down, I'm going to set them aside, and then I'll bring them back up and show you the consistency. Because you want these the same as that jug paint. So on a Dutch pour, they're all the same consistency. So when you blow with your hair dryer, you're not being stopped.
Good night, Rebecca. Thank you for joining us.
Okay. Prussian blue. I love Grumbucker paints, but they break down really quick. So I may not need that much water in this one. This is one of Shelly's favorite colors too. I was kind of bummed they weren't at the Jerry's show this year.
That's enough.
They're the ones that bring the Melito markers and the masking fluids. They weren't there, so I didn't get to buy any more of that stuff. All right, so let's do just a little bit to get it going. That was 0.2. So that's my 0.5. The rest will be water. So it's 1 ounce of paint, half an ounce of Liquitex pouring medium, and possibly a half an ounce of water. It's all going to depend on what paint you used. If you're using a craft paint, you're going to need very little water, as long as they're all running the same. So that's 0.3. I love paint spray too, Linda. So this is still thick, which is a good sign. It didn't break down as much as I thought it was going to. So right now I'm even with water and Liquitex pouring medium as to paint. So it's 0.5.
Hey.
Ellen. It's 0.5, 0.5, and 1 ounce of paint. So now, let me see how thick I am, because if I'm still on the thick side, I'm going to add a little bit more Liquitex pouring medium before I add any water. Because that's going to build my binder back up. So if you remember from Monday night, when I was doing those blooms and my paint was breaking. That was the binder breaking. And I figured out why it did that. I was using a semi-gloss pillow paint. And I know better to do that instead of using a satin. So if the paints aren't running close to what the pillow is, that's what caused my colors to break. Okay, we're just about there on that one. I'm going to let it set and dissolve some more. All right. Now, before I even add the color, I'm going to do 0.5 of Liquitex pouring medium. Actually, I'm going to go a whole ounce because that's a liquid. And Julie, my buddy Julie, told me that this is like a silica, so it thickens over time. So all I need is 1 scoop. That's it. Because remember how thick that paint got when we did it last time? So we don't want to do that again. Because I want to be able to add water to this. So look at that, how thick it's getting already. So that's good. This is brand new. I just got this at the Jerry's show in November, so I'm going to give it a try. Never used these before. I'm not about fluids for artwork. I like a good acrylic paint. I want to feel it. So I put 7 drops in there. Wasted 1. The horror. So I'm getting nice and thick. Look, it's almost like a tube paint. That's a good sign. But I am going to add a couple more drops. 3. So I'd like a little more gold. Just to deepen it up a little bit. It will dry in the metallic version. But when it's wet, it doesn't look like anything. You'll find that with any metallics or pigment powders you use. They look so muted, but when they dry, they're gorgeous. And then we'll add just a touch more Liquitex pouring medium because we added a few more drops. Okay, now we'll add some water. And it's only going to be about... That's 0.2. So if you're not using tube paints, or I mean, if you're not using these liquids, just follow the standard 1 ounce paint, half an ounce of Liquitex pouring medium, then add your water. So this is perfect. This is where I want it. It may thicken up with that gel gloss in there, but maybe not. Okay, and then we're going to do that again. This time we're going to add the interference green from Deco Art. Watch those Deco Art emails because when they have these on clearance, you can get them for $1.50 a jar, a bottle. All right. So I gave it 8 healthy squirts. And I'll give it 1 stick full of the gel gloss. You could use matte as well. If you're going to resin or varnish, doesn't matter. It'll make it shiny again. Or even if you spray varnish, it makes it shiny again. The whole point of adding water is for movement. You're not going to get movement with products that are thicker than water. Okay. Just a touch. So that is 0.2. Any questions? Everybody got the whole thing now? So that's it, guys. Easy peasy thickening. So I've taught you how to thicken paint. I've taught you how to thin paint. And we're learning how to use paint. This one's going to need more water. I can already tell. This one might need a little gloss gel to thicken it back up because I did thin it too much. And this one is a little, it's about there. So those are my colors for my Dutch pour that you will see on Saturday. And I will be filming that in the next half hour. So you'll see it Saturday. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask here during a live, or you can email me at ChristinaWelchArt@yahoo.com. And yes, Ellie went in the house and Daddy came back out.
It snuck out.
So I hope you guys caught the gist of it, you know, as far as the difference between Dutch pour base and pouring base and the thickness of paint compared to the pouring base. Something fell over and she's barking at it. But thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you next Monday. But our video will be up on Saturday, and Doris is on Saturday night at 7. So make sure you check her out. Brian's on Sunday, and we're back here on Monday.
Thank you, Sheena.
Thank you, Sheena. I appreciate you, honey. So have yourselves a good night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Have a good night.
Bye now.